Good day everyone, I am Justin May Roque from BSc 18. So I am here to discuss about the different theories. Karl Marx's theories, Friedrich Engel's theories, and Willem Bonger'S theories. So guys, let's proceed. Who was Karl Marx? Karl Marx, born in Trier, Prussia and now in Germany. On May 5, 1818, Marx was the son of the Jewish lawyer who converted to Lutheranism before Marx's birth. Marx studied law in Bonn and Berlin, and at the Berlin, he was introduced the philosophy of G.W.F. Hegel. He became involved in radicalism at a young age through the Young Hegelians, a group of students who criticized the political and religious establishments of the day. After living in Prussia, Marx lived in France for some time, and that is where he met his lifelong friend Friedrich Engel. Karl Marx's works on understanding capitalism as a social and economic system remains a valid critique in the modern era. The Das Kapital or capital in English. Marx argues that society is composed of two main classes. According to Marx, capitalists are the business owners who organize the process of production and who own the means of production such as faculties, tools, and raw material, and who are also entitled to any and all profits. We also have the Communist Manifesto in 1848. It is all about, or it summarizes Marx and Engel's theories about the nature of society and politics, and is an attempt to explain the goals of Marxism and later the socialism. Marx and Engels explained how they thought capitalism was unsustainable and how the capitalist society that existed at the time of writing would eventually be replaced by a socialist one. Capitalism. What is the word capitalism? It is the production of goods and services, and it is based on supply and demand in the general market. It is known as a market economy. It is known as a whole market economy, and is rather than true central planning. It is known as the plan economy or command economy. This capitalism is an economic and political system where the country's trade and the industry are controlled by private owners for money rather by the states. Communism. If we have capitalism, we also have communism. Communism is a social, political, and economic idea and movement where all means of production are owned in common rather than by individuals. The Marxism. In Marxism, this theory originated by Karl Marx that focuses on the struggle between capitalists and the working class. Marx wrote that the power of a relationship, bet capitalists and workers, were inherently exploitative and would inevitably create class conflict. It is the conflict between the capitalist and the working class. Marxism. In Marxism, we have the key idea of Marxism. First, the individuals have sold their capacity to make other people money. It is in creating capital or wealth by working in a specific job. And this is unfair because as you see, relationship as their employers make more money from it than they do from the employers, or employers makes more money than the workers, but the workers is the one who do all the favors, all the tasks that they are specifically needed to do. And second, the people in power seek to maintain this relationship because it means they have a way of controlling everyone. Yes, they have a way of controlling everyone because as you can see, they can always refuse to pay you, or they can always, and it is their choice if they are going to give you the sahod or not. And third, if only we woke up and realized this was the case and change things in our favor, the world will be a better place entirely. Marxist. We have the Marxism and the Marxist. In the Marxist media theory, it says that we cannot trust the media because they are run by the people in power, and therefore they maintain of status quo rather than being agents for change. It means that we cannot trust easily the media because what we can see in the media was all scripted and it's all planned. And in the society, we have 5 stages of society according to Karl Marx. First, the primitive communism. Second, the slave society. Third, the feudalism. Fourth, the mercantilism. And the last, 5, is the capitalism. In the primitive communism, it is a collective right to basic resources. And slave society is any society where slave labor has. And in feudalism, landholders provide land to the tenants in exchange for their loyalty and services. In mercantilism, nations' wealth and power were best served increasing export and so involved in increasing trade. And the last one is the capitalism. It is the economic system in which private individuals or the businesses has its own capital goods. Second one, Friedrich Engel's theory. Who was Friedrich Engels? Friedrich Engels, he's in the writing see capitalism as an exploitative system that benefits the owners, land, and the capital, and the means of production more than the workforce. Specifically, Engels and Marx claim that the surplus value created by workers in excess of wages produce significant profits for owners of capital, and it's a central theme in Engel's contribution to modern communism. What is the term modern communism? Modern communism in its modern form. Communism grew out of the socialist movement in 19th century Europe.
Marx and Engels. Together, Marx and Engels would produce many pieces of working, critiquing capitalism and developing an alternative economic system in communism. Their most famous pieces of work include The Condition of the Working Class in England, The Communist Manifesto, and each volume of Das Kapital. The remainder of Engels' life was spent compiling Marx's unfinished work and putting together thoughts of his own. Engels died of throat cancer in London at age 74.
Last one, or the third one, is Willem Bonger's theory. Who was Willem Bonger? Willem Bonger is a Dutch sociologist. He took a different approach and argued that crime was caused by societal factors, specifically the economy and its effects on people. Bonger argued that the capitalist economic structure can have a dramatic influence on society and can create criminal behavior and allow it to flourish. According to Bonger, it is not the absolute amount of wealth that affects crime, but it is the distribution. The economic system will intensify personal disadvantages and will increase propensity to commit a crime. And the third one is, if wealth is unequally distributed and people believe wealth means superiority, then the inferior will be crime prone. There are 4 types of crime according to Bonger. First, economic crimes, sexual crime, crime of vengeance, and last, political crimes. First, what is economic crimes? It is also known as financial crime. It refers to the illegal acts committed by an individual of a group of individuals to obtain a financial or professional advantage, and its motive is an economic gain. Second one, sexual crimes. It is the sexual assault and domestic violence against women. most of women's, and they are inextricably linked to women's low social status and this objectification and dehumanization of women's bodies, and it is the disbelieving on what woman can do. Third one, crime of vengeance. It is a serious crime that are motivated by revenge. It is something done in revenge, such as punishment issued. Examples, when a mother shoots the son who killed her child. Oh, when the mother killed a person who killed his son or her son. Last one is political crimes. It includes the human rights violation, whistleblowing, treason, theft, bribery, perjury, and more.
Willem Bonger. Dutch criminologist Willem Bonger believed in a causal link between crime and economic and social conditions. He asserted that crime is social in origin and a normal response to prevailing cultural conditions. In more primitive societies, he contended that survival requires more selfless altruism without or within the community.
And the last one is the Marxist School of Criminology. This school uses a Marxist lens through which inter alia or the meaning of inter alia is among other things. It is to consider the criminalization process and by which explain why some acts are defined as deviants whereas others are not. It is therefore interested in political crime, and state corporate crime. And that's all about the theories of Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and Willem Bonger. Thank you for listening, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye.